Welcome, citizens and Outlanders. Today, we have a special event coming straight from Neo Tokyo. Many of you have heard of this virtual nirvana, but few have placed their eyes on it. Today, we're going to interview the first person to breach our sacred perimeter and learn what we can about the infamous dumpster of Neo Tokyo. Today, citizens and Outlanders, we present to you an interview with the Rat King of Neo Tokyo's dumpster. I am Atomic Sushi, citizen 1632. I'll be co-hosted by Crypto Poetess 1079, and we will be interviewing the Rat King. Rat King, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how your movement got started.
Sure. So I am the Rat King, aka Eli. Uh, so the would you like the origin of how we came to be, or
Sure, just start with where the rats came from and how you
sure?
became their king.
All right. So I think to begin there, we have to start with the beginning and to understand the difference between rats and citizens, because it's less than you'd think. So on Earth, we all chose to upload our consciousness to the Citadel in Neo Tokyo. But, not all of us made it, right? All of us registered onto the list of mind transfers. But the UAEC had other plans. You know, we lay to rest in the laboratory, our consciousness were in the queue. However, the UAEC began to raid and sabotage the facility and cancel that process. The founders knew that, so they attacked the defenses, and it started to fail. Time started to deplete, and the founders had to make a decision. And if any were to make it to the Citadel, they knew it'd require sacrifices, thousands of minds to be thrown. And that's what happened. Our minds were dumped. The successful transfers were uploaded and became citizens, and the UAEC believed themselves to be too late. Time progressed, and everyone in Neo Tokyo had settled down and believed everything to be fine, until an error occurred that no one could foresee. See, there was a glitch in the identity dumping security measure that had occurred. The system had deleted the minds of those that were meant to be sacrificed, but that's not what happened. Thousands of human consciousness from the world of old were uploaded to Neo Tokyo through a different path that didn't lead to the Citadel, but into the dumpster instead. And the only vessels for the minds for us to take were that of rats.
So you're telling me that the Rat King was once a human, but due to the UAC burning down the lab, sabotaging the upload, you were somehow put into a rat's consciousness outside of our sacred gates.
Correct. If you think about it, Neo Tokyo, it's bigger than the Citadel. The Citadel is just one place, and to us, the ones who didn't make it in there, we found a new home, and that's the dumpster. And it's on the outskirts, but it's bigger than you'd imagine.
Yeah, and I know some of us had, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, maybe even that attempted to upload and didn't make it through with us. Are you saying they could potentially be the rats as well?
They could be.
That's an interesting thought. Brings up some humanitarian concerns. So I did have some other questions.
Mm.
To start thing off, Mr. King, so your core principles as a rat say that all rats are equal. Can you explain to me how, if all rats are equal, you are a king over them?
That's a great question, actually. See, yes, all rats they're equal. That's true. And being a king among the rats doesn't mean I am more valuable or more than the others. No, I'm no better. My role as king of the rats was simply born out of the rats' will. I stood up when chaos was all we knew, when the dumpster was only but a fire. And when I saw the opportunity to lead my brethren, my children, to a better future, I took that chance and they raised me up. And now we lead as one. Yes, I'm king, but in the end, right, we are all equal.
Okay, that's an interesting concept. Can you explain to me how the Rat Council works? Is that something that keeps the king in check? Make sure you don't try to overstep your bounds, or is it elected? How does that work?
Right. Well, uh, that's a great question. They do keep me in check at a degree because we all need accountability. I'm just as prone to having a bad day, having a bad week. My cheese goes bad, I might snap. So, yes, they're there to look for me, but they're also there for me to lend a voice to, for them to lend ears, and for them to provide wisdom. The shaman is one of the highest in the council. He seeks the wisdom of the spirits and delivers it upon me to guide me in my decision making. The lore master is one as well, and he's there because he's going to script all that is and will be to come, as well as Rat 666 squared. He's I apologize, that was a slip of the tongue. Rat 666 beast unsquared, and he's there to be a voice of reason as well and to cause some anarchy when needed.
Interesting. Okay. So you guys essentially have a rat Moses that's climbing to the top of the mountain and chiseling in the rat law.
Correct. Yes, I think that would be a fair analogy.
A mountain of trash, though, right?
Yes, trash, scraps, moldy cheese, all
Okay.
the above.
Okay. So this one might be a curveball, but I've heard that the author of the Democratic Constitution was actually removed from the dumpster due to misbehaving and like removed from Neo Tokyo. How does the Rat King feel about that? And is that an accurate statement?
Yes, it pains me. My my great friend, an ally who was there from the beginning, he lashed out too hard, and some of the overlords in Neo Tokyo heard wind. They grabbed him and kicked him out. We tried searching for him, but we haven't seen him since. I've tried to have meetings with the overlords. They haven't been too communicative yet, but I'm still trying to find a way to bring that rat back in. But I am pretty upset, and there has been a lot of hostility within the dumpster as of late.
That's unfortunate for you. Maybe a good thing for us. I'm not sure. I heard you guys are getting a little hostile. Do you plan on mounting an insurrection at some point? Should we consider hiring exterminators? I know there was a little bit of an infiltration a while back.
Yes, I want to make this clear. We bow to no one. We do not lay down our paws to any man or android. We're not looking for fights. We're not looking for conflict, but we are a pack of pride. If some does come to challenge at the dumpster, we will fight back. We will gnaw on you. And there have been citizens who have come by who have been kind, but there have been others who have teased and prodded and poked and jousted at us, and we can only take so much. We have some infantry. I can't go too deep into it because we have to hold our cards close to our furry chest. But yes, we might have infiltrated a bit. We might have seen some secrets. We might have learned some things. But I wouldn't be too defensive on an insurrection. I don't think the Citadel really has much that we want, to be honest.
That is an interesting statement. Uh, so we just keep throwing cheese into the dumpster and we won't have to worry about you? Is that what it's kind of sounding like that?
Mm, for now.
Okay. Okay. Um, so do the rats have any core values? Do you guys have like pillars of your community?
Yes, we live by squeak. Service, quality, understanding, excellence, adaptability, and kindness. Squeak.
So the rats have acronyms.
Yes, we have ratcronyms.
You never cease to amaze me. These are very interesting rats. Some of the citizens have even taken to treating the rats like like pets. It's very interesting to see.
Yes,
Um,
those citizens have had fingers gnawed off, and I have no regret about that.
it's unfortunate for them. So tell me, do do the rats have a uniform? Do you guys wear like gang symbols, or are you just naked rats?
The rats can be naked. The rats can wear garbage. The rats can wear sashes or armor. It's a personal choice. It also depends on their division that they're fulfilling. If you're an infantry, you're going to wear military guard. If you're a shaman, you're going to have your personal robes. And if you're the king, you might have some fancy wear. But in the end, it's a personal choice unless it's a uh, required fit for the job.
I see. Okay. So my last question before I open up the floor for others is there's a lot of interest on dumpster rats or rats in Neo Tokyo style NFT to kind of put a put a face behind the rat, if you will.
Mm, mm, mm.
How do you feel about that?
So an NFT, right, has already been in early stages. But with that being said, I'm more than willing to have a collective of rats and citizens who can bring skills to my aid that would make this something special for the community. For those who are the rats who could not get into the Citadel, we aren't searching to gain access. We love who we are now. We are building something that is bigger and better in our own right. So something is being worked on, but I'm not too prideful to say this is all my ideas and my inner workings. I always seek the counsel of those around me and those who seek to bring aid, because those are where the best things are made.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. I like it. So I guess at this point, I will open the floor. We've got two requested speakers. I'm going to go ahead and admit them in. Oh, actually, it says we have zero now. Let's see. There it is. Add a speaker. First, we got McGee. McGee, what do you have for the Rat King? McGee, are you with us? I don't think McGee's with us. All right, we'll keep you up here just in case. Mindful, you are up. Have any questions for the Rat King? All right, let's go with Gaia.
Alrighty, well, if Mindful doesn't have a question, do you mind if I go ahead and give mine an ask?
Let's shoot.
All right, what's up? This is Sock. Um, Eli, or aka Rat King. You may have noticed me speaking in all caps in the dumpster. Um, I do have a question for you because you neglected to answer it the last time that I asked, but I'm curious
Hmm.
as to if you have a different change of mind here. I'm curious, what is your end goal? What's the next step on the ladder? Where do you go next? What does the future hold for the rats? Is it limited to the dumpster? And if it is, what do you plan to do in the dumpster? And if it's not limited to the dumpster, then what?
That's a great question. Now, before we move to the future, I want to talk about the now. Our goal is to fulfill every rat to have a duty and a purpose, because to have empty meaning, to have instability in your own home before you can expand, it's an ingredient for disaster. So the near goal is to really build the community, to build the kingdom, and to find the the best way to reach all those who haven't yet been ordained as a rat. we don't. When people ask for our end goal, they think that we're searching to take down a place or another kingdom. I can't deny expansion, but it's not on the table at the moment.
Rats do breed quickly, though.
We do. We really do.
Now, I do want to ask then,
Go ahead.
to be more logistical about this,
Mm-hmm.
with the expansion that you ask about, would that entail remaining in the single channel that is the dumpster, or do you request either? Well, do you either consider expanding into further channels and requesting more channels, or do you just consider moving to a new location, dumpster, or Discord altogether?
So I believe the Rat King had made it pretty clear that they were uploaded to Neo Tokyo as in the dumpster. So I don't think it's reasonable to think he could go anywhere else.
Just think it's valid to wonder, what the power of these rats is. But
For sure. For sure.
I'm sorry. The Rat King was muted. Yes, what Atomic said is accurate. We are in Neo Tokyo at the moment, and we don't search for another Discord domain. This is where we were born, and this is where our home is. Expansion will be across the different planes of Neo Tokyo, but I don't think you grasp how large this place really is.
now, and then I do have one other question. If the rats were to come into the capability and or whatever it may be to acquire a citizenship, is that something that would actually intrigue you or your fellow rats, or is that something that you disdain?
This is where the disdain would come. If not one rat, then no rat. If all rats, then yes rats. Do you get what I'm saying? We cannot leave a fellow rat behind. So if there is citizenship for all rats, then yes. But who would determine which rat would enter? Not me, just because I'm the king. That would be for shame.
All right.
All right. You good with that, Ed?
I think I've got my questions satisfied. I will see you on the Discord.
Thank you, sir. Gaia, did you have something to say? Okay. Okay, we've got a mnemonic. I'm going to add you up as speaker. Mnemonic, you are a speaker. You have any questions for the Rat King? Just muted your mic, it appears. Okay, bringing in Mindful, bringing in Napoleon of Valhalla.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Would the Rat King and his compadres consider becoming household pets of the citizens?
I don't like that tone in your voice. You may draw upon the wrath of the pack.
Apologies, Crypto Poetess here.
My
Technical
apologies. I did not mean
difficulties.
to offend. I just know that some citizens consider rats very cute. And
No, we are very attractive. That can't be denied. But no, we are not pets.
Sounds like my co-host just came on. If we could break for just a minute, welcome. You want to give everybody an introduction of yourself?
Oh yeah, apologies for my delay, technical difficulties. I am clearly not a big brain, I guess. But thanks all for having me. I just wanted to interject. I think it is quite reductive for us to consider the rats as pets, as they are a very intelligent race, and I would not suggest we lower them to be our simple companions,
rats, then
and
yes,
more our equals.
Thank you. That brings a salty water droplet to my eye.
Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about equals, but my opinion doesn't matter. We're interviewing the Rat King. Mnemonic, did you have anything else to say on there?
That's all for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mindful, you are next in line. Do you have anything to say? Give you about 10 seconds to show up.
Hey, yep. I think there were some technical difficulties earlier. Rat King, it is a pleasure to speak with you. I do appreciate the initiative. Now, there's one thing that you had said that most definitely sparked my attention, and it was when you had said that the or Neo Tokyo has nothing that you're interested in.
No. Neo Tokyo has all of our interests. The Citadel, it doesn't bring anything to me that I think that would elevate our lives.
Okay, fair. That's fair. Now, if that doesn't, then what does pique your interest for you guys rats to stay around and try to form an objective? Like where's
Well, let me ask you something. What's the purpose for citizens to gather around?
well,
Is it not to build community?
one of many reasons, right? Okay. Now, if you rats try if the rats, right, if the rats infiltrate once more, because they successfully have already, which is it's cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where's the line at, right? Is there really a line of um I guess everyone is equal in obviously, but does everyone get the same perks? Is everyone treated truly the same if the entrances were different?
Well, have you entered our dumpster yet?
I have. I've waved my hand a few times, but
But have you? But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You infiltrated around it, but have you entered the dumpster?
I've stepped inside, but I haven't been embraced. So maybe
Hmm.
it's not a rat. It's fair. But I got some pizza and I was gonna share some, but I don't think I was welcome, so I just went past.
Well, let me ask you something. Are you a citizen?
Yes, sir.
Well, then how could you be welcomed? We're rats.
So you are saying that the
We
rats
we
are not welcome citizens?
no, we accept you as allies, but to enter the dumpster is to be a rat. And I just don't think a citizen can become a rat
So can
unless if
citizens?
all let me say something real quick. If all citizens can become rats, then there must be a way for all rats to become citizens, and that's how it goes. It must be equal.
Well, if a rat can become a citizen and a citizen can become a rat, then they are equal. But
Right.
but that's not the case, is it?
Well, different doesn't mean unequal, right? I have I have a lighter shade of fur, and the shaman has a darker shade of fur. We're different, but we're still equal.
True
Do
indeed.
you understand what I'm saying?
Indeed. Indeed. Okay.
Mindful, you got anything else?
No, I will stop by the dumpster. So I do have another question. So are citizens welcomed in the dumpster,
Citizens are welcome near the dumpster.
near the
They
dumpster?
can they can they can bring they can bring things to us in compassion and allyship, but the day you enter the dumpster is the day the rats enter the citadel, and that's what it shall be. So if the vents are to open and we scurry our way through and we make our way into the citadel with open android and carbon aluminum arms, then we will accept you into the dumpster as well. But it seems like citizens have detested us rats for such long times. I don't know if that will ever change. I seek for that. I love, but I don't know.
Fair enough. I'd like to stop by the dumpster and say hello, but it seems that the rats are a little bit more not so opposed to that, and I can respect it. It's okay.
I would just like to chime in there and say that while the Rat King may say these things, you can find that if you approach the dumpster and throw some cheese in, a lot of them will be taken over by their nature.
Are you making fun of us?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never do that to my honored guest. So
Okay,
Mindful,
all right.
thank you for your time. I'm going to let Napoleon come up now.
Awesome. I'll see you guys around.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. Could you explain how you managed to get through the vents? You know, there was a few traps that
Next question. Next question. Nope.
All right. Hey, sorry guys, we got to go along with what the Rat King wants. He's here at my request, so I don't want to make him mad. So
Hey, co-host, do you mind if I interject for a moment?
go right ahead.
So, speaking on, the citizens and the rats and the two separate communities, as I've been poking my nose around in the different channels and parts of Neo Tokyo, I've kind of found that there is discussion about greed amongst citizens, and I have found that for the rats, greed is a terrible trait. So
Yes.
I just want to know your thoughts on the greed and that kind of quality you see among citizens, and what are your thoughts?
Right. Well, I can't deny what you've said. It breaks my tiny rat heart to see such grotesque behavior, but it's the citizens' nature. They can't help it. For rats, though, we live as one. We are a pack, and love and compassion and generosity is what we have brought from this measly dumpster to this stage that I speak on now. It's from that we have elevated to where we are. And I just don't see this compassion among citizens. I don't. There are some citizens, I won't deny it, that have come to the dumpster and shown appreciation and have brought gifts of compassion. But for the majority, I've only heard whispers from my spies that there's much internal conflict because of the greed that is overpouring in the Citadel.
Now, would you suggest then that there is much for citizens to learn from the rats, and possibly coming together is a benefit to both classes?
I believe that we can share much wisdom with the citizens, and I do believe that coming together could bring some prosperous opportunities. But both sides need to come at each other with a sense of allyship. It can't be hostile.
Now, do you believe that is a union we'll be able to reach one day?
I've prayed on it. I've asked the shaman to seek guidance from the spirits. But in truth, the actions are what make me realize that this time might not be soon. Now, if I'm wrong, I'd be more than happy to admit it. If we can reach this in days' time, in weeks' time, we'll be joyous. The dumpster will be overrun with praise and songs of love and progress. So to answer the question, I do believe it could be soon, but that belief is stemmed from a need of wanting less conflict.
Well, I love everything that you just said, and I'm looking forward to the day that citizens and rats can live as one, and use each other's talents to better all of us. So thank you for answering my questions.
Of course. Thank you.
That's good. That's wholesome. Jonesy.
Yes.
John,
Hello. Rat King, I have a question for you. So, I would like to know what goes on in the mind of the Rat King. What is your day to day? I think coming from the inside walls of the Citadel, I would very much like to glean all of the insights that I could from your small but exceptionally intelligent brain.
Your words, they bring upon me a warm feeling. Such praise I am worthy of, but it is nice to hear. Yeah, my day consists of me awakening. I greet my fellow children, my brethren. I toss the cheese from which we farm, and yes, we do farm cheese. It's not as easy as finding scraps or receiving them from generous citizens, but I go along, I greet the baby rats, I greet the mother rats, I check on our infantry and our defenses. And then I head to the council room. I can't discuss what goes on in there. And then I leave, and I can't disclose what goes on out there. But then I end the day by communing with my citizens that was a slip of the tongue, my rats. I commune with the rats, I build relationships with them, and we work on our NFT project. And then I go to sleep, and my shaman and my lore master take over from there. So it's a fairly simple but busy day.
That is fantastic. I've taken notes on some of those points. Now I'm going to bring forward a contentious topic. I don't agree with it. I think they're baseless claims, but there's been talks within the walls of a plague within the rat community, disease. Is this something that citizens should be worried about? Are these claims true? Are you worried yourself as the king to potentially be governing and leading a race of plague infested? These are not my words.
Let me
the way.
stop you there because
just so you know, these are not my
let me
words.
stop you there because I believe that's very racist. Okay, we are not dirty, filthy animals unless we choose to be. We do not carry a plague, but we do roll in the filth. Now, I want to make something clear though. We can utilize different poisons from this filth, and that will be used as defense only unless conflict is stirred upon us. And in that case, you can use the term plague as a weapon, but no, we don't carry plagues with us. We are not infected in a health term.
I see. I just wanted to also clear up. Those were not my beliefs. Okay, I do not believe any of that. As I said, I think that we have an exceptional amount to learn from someone of your stature. So I just want to also thank you for the time today as well.
Of course, You're honored. It's your honor. It's your
Good
honor.
save. Good save. You really
Your
made
honor.
up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, McGee, you're up.
Hi, Rat King. Few questions today. First question: what can a citizen do now to improve the relations between the citizens and the rats?
So, I understand that not every citizen speaks for the Citadel. I understand that not all citizens are alike in the saying of one citizen will come be destructive to the dumpster and another won't. But the issue is if one keeps hurting us, we don't know which one to defend ourselves against, which one is conflict, which one is peace. So I believe the first step as a citizen is for you to commune within the Citadel with the others and establish a law, a code on how to interact with us, because we are not going to just stand down and be passive to whoever passes by. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. No. That does make sense. Let's see here. And then second question. You speak of a future where humans and rats are working together. And I imagine that'd be very beneficial for both parties involved. But then you also speak of the wrath of the pack. And you also speak of possible uses of plagues. Would you consider the point we're at right now to be a fork in the road in the development of the Citadel?
Oh, sorry, I was drinking some sewer water. Can you say that again, please? Can you say it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No problem. You seem to speak of two features. All right. One, where we're working together.
Right.
And that is a very beneficial feature for both parties. But then you also speak of the wrath of the pack. And you also speak of using plagues, possibly. So there seems to be two very different futures here. Would you say at this time moment we are at a fork in the path?
I believe
the development of the Citadel?
I do believe we are at a standstill. Now, when I say plague, I want to make this clear. Our intention is not to attack the citizens. We're just always prepared. We have teeth that will gnash. We have infections that will spread. We have tails that will whip. But these are things that we hold on to. We're not actively seeking to damage citizens. It's merely a self-defense mechanism. But no, I would definitely agree we are probably at a fork in the road, at a standstill. But that's not what's leading us to have these defenses.
Okay. So you're saying we have lots of defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thanks, McGee. Robert, you're up.
Hello, Rat King. It's a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for talking with us today. I admit to being rather impressed with your infiltration of the Citadel, and I offer my sincerest apologies if any of us have underestimated the rats up to this point. Some of the comments that you've made about the size and scope of the of Neo Tokyo rather has really piqued my interest, and I was wondering if you could let us know, maybe without going into detail, if you have previously seen or currently have access to parts of Neo Tokyo other than the Citadel or the dumpster.
I have not. I have always been an outsider. I've had no... Well, let me rephrase. My spies have informed me of what they have seen, but me and myself, I have not been a citizen, nor near the Citadel itself or inside.
So you have information from spies about what might be out there, you just have not personally seen it.
Correct. As a king, I must defend my children. I must be here in the dumpster.
Okay, thank you for the information. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Cool. Okay, Dr. JPEG?
Rad King, how are you?
I'm faring well.
Good. I love the dumpster. I love the vibe of the dumpster. I've visited many times to say hello to the rats and give ideas and show love and support for all those citizens listening that do not understand your ways. Please entertain us and share with us the story of how this came to be.
I'm at my wit's end. I cannot bring to myself to explain the story again. But I
The
will
elevator pitch.
I will do you something better. I will make a transcription from the lore master and post it upon the dumpster, the Rat Kingdom, and the general chat of Neo Tokyo.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then my second question is, when merch?
When merch indeed. That's all.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, your lord.
Thank you, Dr. JPEG. The Vert, you are next.
How does one become part of the dumpster if you are already not a citizen?
If you're not a citizen, I think you're mistaken. You are a rat. You just must make your way to the dumpster and you will be ordained.
Thank you.
All right. Bringing up a couple more. Rat King, do you have time?
Yes, my counsel permits it.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks to your counsel. Malk, you're going to be next up.
All right. So, good evening, Rat King. So, my question is, do you have, okay, if you were offered, not offered, but if you somehow were able to secure identity, would you do it? And would your stance still remain the same?
I'm a little confused. Were you here at the beginning of our query?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If no rat, then no. If all rat, then yes.
So if you were able to, if you whitelisted, are you on the whitelist?
I was, once upon a time.
Did you get banned from the whitelist?
No.
Okay, so there's still, ways to get rare identities, quote unquote, as we know of. At least that's what Becker said. So if you were to win one of these games, would you forfeit what you won? Would you give it to the community of rats, or would you just take it and then soar up into the citizenship?
That's a good question, which we have planned for, and I can't speak about that.
The good questions you can't answer. Damn. Okay, I can respect
that. The council has spoken about that since the early days. But trust me when I say, if no rat, then no. If all rat, then yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malk. Sean, you're next.
All right. Good evening, Rat King.
Good evening.
I just have a question on, you said you have some spies in the Citadel, but you previously stated that citizens cannot be rats. So what's the deal with that?
I think you're confused.
How so? You said you had spies.
I did.
So if they're accepted in the dumpster, then why aren't the rest of the citizens?
I still think you're confused. I never said anything about citizens.
So the spies aren't citizens.
Or they could be. But if I have spies, why would I tell you? I merely offered an olive branch to acknowledge the existence, but I can't show you all my cards.
I personally would feel it important to move on from that subject. I don't want to press the Rat King too hard. He's really done a good thing to let us bring him on here today. Sean, do you have another question maybe?
So you support citizens sharing love with the rats and memes?
Yes, of course. If a citizen has a fair heart and is willing to extend an android harm to us, then we take it. We love the memes. We love the art. We love the alpha in the correct channels of Neo Tokyo.
All right. Well, that's all I have. Good evening, Rat King.
Good evening and good night.
All right. Rapid, you are next up.
Hi, hello. I just wanted to thank you, the Rat King, for gracing us with his presence. But I do have my question. Having such a big rat brain of yours, I was just wondering what powers it. What are the snacks that you eat that power this, and what is your favorite snack besides the cheese you form?
Well, I will say I occasionally will feast upon scraps, and those scraps can include rotten banana peels. It can be rotten eggs, expired meat. Lentils sometimes can provide nutrition. I'm going to be honest. In the dumpster, we're not very picky, but I do like a moldy Gouda.
Wow, that sounds really nice.
Quite.
Well, we just hope that we will be able to give you more feasts in the future.
I will say real quick, pizzas are a delicacy that we don't see often.
We'll keep that in mind then. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks for that, Rapid. That's a nice
was
olive
very
branch.
thoughtful.
I like that. Anything else?
Well, that's all really. I'm just really fascinated about what powers the Rat King.
Rat King?
I'll keep that to myself.
Okay. Might be for the best. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Jacques?
Hello, it is Jacques Miguel. No problem. It's not my real name. What's up, Rat King? How are you? Thanks for speaking with us today.
Of course.
I was wondering if your rat's lore master is also with you. And I don't know if this is a question for them, but since you are essentially code, and you were talking about it in the beginning, that you may have been one of the whitelist spaces that was guaranteed to get into the Citadel and was used during the upload. And honestly, the way that I view the rats now is they're the people that we should be worshiping and thanking. Is this something that you can address?
I'm a little perplexed by your inquiry. Can you say it a different way?
There was 8,000 on the whitelist, roughly, that were not able to be uploaded.
Right.
So their identities were burned, basically. So you were left behind in the world, but you are code. So in some way, you were able to make it and survive.
Yes, we addressed it, and I will have our lore master put down the inscriptions upon the different chat rooms in Neo Tokyo.
Awesome. I love the idea of the rats maybe being the people that the citizens need to thank for their sacrifice, and that's the way I view it until I see the inscriptions. So, thank you, Rat King.
Of course.
Thank you, Jacques. Checking.
Yeah, hello. What's up, Rat King? I'm not here to worship any rats or make peace with rats. Even there's a piece of the Citadel that doesn't respect what you guys are doing whatsoever. With the at first we had no issues with the rats. We had no problem with them. We were actually loving them, sending them memes, having fun. And then we heard word of spies, and we despise that, honestly, a part of the Citadel. And we're here to tell you that there are people that have done everything, men and women of the Citadel, that are spending their life savings on an identity. to get the key to the Citadel.
Mm.
They're selling their souls and doing things to degrade themselves in the most immoral levels to get into the Citadel.
For
and
shame.
you're over here sending in spies. I don't think that we're going to make peace with you guys. I think that there's going to be something.
All right,
something
all
more
right.
complicated.
Slow down
So what
there.
do you? What? No. So what do you seek?
What do I seek?
Hmm.
I seek a proposal.
Of what?
Okay, so, I propose that we have intercourse and create a child.
All right.
Unfortunately, that is impossible. Goodbye.
Moving on. Ed, did you have anything else to say?
I did. Beyond.
I'm gonna mark him on the do not speak again list.
Okay. All right. I do have a question. So first off, you specifically chose to say that you farmed cheese. That scavenged or looked for or found, you specifically noted that you farmed cheese. Does
That's
that
correct.
imply that there are dumpster cows that we are unaware of?
No. I would believe it best for you to study up on your sources of citizen knowledge to learn about the biology of rats.
Oh, do you create it from? I'll take.
I would not press any further.
All right. And then that's question number one. Number two is you did say that originally you had been on the whitelist, and your original goal was, of course, to become a citizen. But now you are a rat, and you have been essentially nominated as the leader of the rats. But my question is, in a different world, in a different place, in a different time, had you become a citizen, what do you believe? What would it have held for you? Where would you be? What would have your goals been?
I don't speculate on what ifs and what can and what should, and it just does not bring any promise to my life. And I've tried to lead that as well in the kingdom. We must live for the moment and for the future. To think of a alternate universe is simply a waste of my rat life.
All right. I see. I would have liked to hear the insight, but if that's all you're willing to elaborate, then so be it.
Maybe upon another time.
Okay, that is the last. Oh wait, nope, we got one more request.
By the way, can I just say real quick, Sushi? Thank you. Thanks for running this. It's been wildly entertaining.
Thank you. Citizen 211, you're up.
Hey, Rat King, I just had one question for you. Have you had a conversation with Elliot or Becker, and how did that conversation go, if you have?
The overlords and the founders speak rarely upon me. I have not spoken once to either founder. An overlord has been kind enough to grant us our own passage within Neo Tokyo, but to answer your question black and white, I have not.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to them if you did get a chance to speak with them?
I do have things to say, but those things probably not best for public.
All right, that's all my questions. Thank you, Rat King.
Of course.
And Rat King, as long as you don't object to it, as long as there's another request, I'm going to keep letting them in. Meta?
Hey, Rat King, thanks for speaking with us. You mentioned two things. You mentioned that a lot of the discourse you had, been engaged with citizens was negative. However, there was some positive. I saw more positive than I did negative, just personally. So, just take that for what it is. One question I had for you, I read the lore for the rats. Have any citizens requested being transformed?
I have had a couple citizens make their way to the dumpster in seek of transformation by Gnaw, but I forbid it.
Okay.
So no were-rats in Neo Tokyo.
No.
All right. Meat sweats. Meat sweats.
Hello?
There you are.
Okay. Yeah, I know a few of us citizens have noticed in Neo Tokyo, and I think some in the dumpsters, well, we've noticed a large influx of frogs. I was just wondering if you have speculated on that at all, if you have anything to say regarding the frogs.
I do wonder if they're a weapon from an outside entity. I know not of any inner plannings of frogs. I have no intel from my spies of the Citadel creating or manufacturing frogs. So I have thought and pondered if there might be a third player in this game.
My thoughts exactly. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's the last of our requests. So just to wrap this up on my part, thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, Your Majesty, for gracing us with your presence.
Of course, thank you for hosting.
I thank all rats, outlanders, and citizens for attending, everyone for questions, and a special thanks to CryptoPotus for co-hosting.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Rat King, for gracing us with your presence. I hope that we can see more communion amongst the rats and the citizens in the near future.
So on
I would like to see it
that
as well.
note, I was thinking, Rat King, we share an environment. We live right next door to each other. We interact a lot. Is something like a rat citizen town hall, is that something you might be interested in doing bi-weekly, monthly, something like that?
I think a communion of sorts would be something that could bring about progress.
Okay. Well, I'll speak to my people about
Agreed.
it. We'll see what they think, and I'll reach out. I'm gonna give the floor to CryptoPotus and to the Rat King. If you guys have anything else to say, go right ahead.
No, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to the citizens and the rats alike that joined us today. This was a very informative session. I think that we learned a lot. I think that there are still divides, but I have hope for us here in Neo Tokyo.
Agreed. And I want to say thank you to all the citizens as well, even those who might be a bit flawed. And thank you to my children for coming to this space and listening to what I had to say, as well as any outsiders, any outlanders who have not made their way to the dumpster. We welcome you with open arms.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it. So thank you, everyone. Hope to do this again sometime. Everybody have a good one. Thank you, Mr. Rat King.
Thank you.